Hi guys, this is Miss Anderson, and this tutorial is going to discuss how to be a successful online student. So prior to watching this video or before you watch this video, if you have not watched the video on that I have on my channel, the differences between classroom and online learning, go ahead and watch that video and then come back to this one, okay? Because you definitely need to know the difference between learning in the classroom and learning online. So this tutorial is going to discuss how to be successful at learning online. So the first thing I want to say, guys, is that this, just like anything else that you take on, you can do it very well, okay? And also I wanted to say that online learning can have many different words, and it's all discussing the same thing. So online learning, virtual learning, telelearning, and distance learning. All of those words mean the same thing, okay? And what it means is that you and your teacher are in two geographically different places, okay? So that's all learning means, is that you are using the internet to connect your classroom at home to your teacher's classroom wherever she is, okay? So online, and you'll hear me in this tutorial use online, virtual, telelearning, and distance learning. Just know that they all mean the same thing, okay? All right. Let's go. Okay, so here's our agenda, so to speak, okay? And so this is my virtual classroom, and for those of you that are my students and you are with me the upcoming school year, you are going to see this virtual classroom. But today in this tutorial, we are going to talk about to be a successful online student, you should be able to communicate online, you should be motivated and self-disciplined, you should be technologically savvy. You should be able to solve problems independently. You should be able to think and make decisions. You should be organized with time management skills. And in order to be a successful online student, you should have a good home study environment, or just a good study environment, period. So we're going to discuss each of these. All right, let's go. So the first thing I want to say is I'm talking fast because I want to keep this video minimum. I did record it one time and it came out 45 minutes, but at any time if you need to pause this video, go ahead and pause it, take a break, and then come back. So I am going to try to make it less than 45 minutes. So that requires me to speak a little faster. All right, so the first thing that you need to be a successful online student is you need to be able to communicate online. So a lot of work is done online, as you know. Asking questions is in writing, and for some students this can be new, it can be different, and it can be a challenge if you're not proficient in writing. So in addition to building your skills as an online student, this is going to build all of your other skills as a student in general, such as your writing skills, okay? You also need to use formal English in all of your communications, and your communications such as writing and speaking. And by formal English, I mean no slang, no acronyms, and no text talk or text speak, okay? So when you're writing, you do not use the same writing as you would when you're texting a friend, okay? You want to use all formal communications. And when you are speaking, you definitely don't want to use slang, okay? You want to use the full grammar system that you are learning, okay? You need to be comfortable with speaking online, okay? That is very important, okay? Because if you remember in our last online class, okay, because students were just beginning to get familiar with learning online, I would ask a question and it will be something like this after I ask the question. Nothing. Nobody said anything. Okay? So online learning, crickets is unacceptable, okay? You have to be open with sharing your thoughts and your opinions. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, that's actually a part of the learning process, okay? You have to be able to share your experiences and share your understanding, because that is how we learn from each other. So when we go into talking about thinking, this goes with thinking, okay? So sharing and speaking, you are learning from, you're thinking things through, and then you are sharing your understanding. You are listening to others' understanding, and you are developing or deepening your understanding. If the teacher just told you everything, that's not teaching. Teaching is not me just telling you what something is. Teaching is me allowing you, giving you examples and letting you come to an understanding and a conclusion, and then giving that back to me that demonstrates that you understand. That is teaching. So in the classroom, a lot of that teachers can see. But online, teachers cannot see your thoughts, so you have to speak. So from now on, you have heard it from me, crickets are not allowed. So don't hold things to yourself, okay? Don't sit back and wait on someone else. Don't do that, okay? Because this does not help you learn. It doesn't help your peers learn, and that's what we're all here to do. We learn from each other. So no matter if you are an introvert, what your personality is, or an extrovert, you have to speak up in class, okay? Actively communicate, communicate, communicate. Speak up, okay? Share your thoughts. Don't let a teacher ask a question and then it's silence and nobody says anything. That's not cool, okay? All right, to be a successful online student, you also have to be self-motivated and self-disciplined. Online learning takes commitment on your part. You do have to be committed to excellence. That's what I say. Excellent is not doing the bare minimum. Excellent is not doing just enough. Excellent is not doing something when you like it or when it's easy. Excellent is being committed to doing all things to the best of your ability, okay? So that means that you must take responsibility for your learning, okay? Your parents are not responsible for you learning, okay? Your siblings, no one else is, your teacher is not responsible for you learning. She's definitely not responsible for your understanding. You have to be able to know when you understand a particular topic, okay? And then you have to be able to demonstrate what you have learned back to the class and to your teacher, okay? So it's up to you to understand what you should be learning and to understand when you have learned it, and then to know what to do when you do not understand something, okay? Being self-disciplined means you work independently. That means that you manage your schedule, your materials, and your learning. That means you complete all of your assignments on time. You should not be handing in late assignments, okay? That's just bad form. That's just a bad look, okay? You want to be persistent, okay? Being persistent means that if you don't understand something, then you work to solve it till you do understand it, okay? That means that either you get some help or you go over the concept again, you do more examples, okay? Whatever you need to do, that's what persistent mean, is that you don't give up until you get that understanding. And then goal-oriented means that you have an end game in mind. What is the purpose of you learning this? What is the purpose of you going to school? Is it because your parents told you you have to? What's the purpose of you being in class? Because your teacher is there? No. What is your goal? What is the end game? What do you want out of this semester, this school year, your education? What is it? Okay? And then you have to be not easily frustrated, okay? A lot of times we can give up too soon, okay? Don't be a quitter, okay? Don't give up, all right? Stick in there. Be persistent. Be committed. Self-motivate, motivate yourself, okay? There are different ways that you stay motivated. Me, I like movies. If you know me, you know I like movies, okay? So my motivation for myself is a reward, okay? Like tonight, after I finish making this video, my reward is to watch a movie on Disney Plus. So know what motivates you, okay? If your reward is to play your video game for an hour, if your reward is to get on your phone or go see your friend, whatever your reward is, motivate yourself in order to have to do the things that you need to do. All right, so I said I was going to make it short. Let me keep going. All right, the next thing you need to be in order to be a successful online student is you need to be technologically savvy, or I'll shorten that a little bit, what we call tech savvy. So to be tech savvy, you need to understand technology needs. In order to be an online student, you know you need a device, you need internet, and you need a headset. Not earbuds, you need a full headset that has a microphone on it. Why? Because when you don't use a headset, okay, then we can hear all of the background noise that comes along with wherever you happen to be. And it can be terribly, terribly distracting for your class, okay? Tech savvy means that you learn to teach yourself new apps, okay? So that was one of the things that I heard a lot last semester was, I don't know how to use Microsoft Teams. Well, learn. That's a part of being an online student, okay? If I were to give you a new phone, I wouldn't need to give you a tutorial with it, right? No, you would figure out how to use it. Why? Because you were motivated to do so, because it's a new phone. If I gave you a new game, new video game, new cartridge, I wouldn't have to give you instructions with it, would I? Nope, you'll figure it out. That's the same way with learning and with apps, okay? Figure it out. And one of the things that I use is YouTube, okay? And you guys do too. There is not a concept in the world that YouTube does not have a tutorial on it. And this goes for your learning as well. So if your teacher is teaching something like theme or whatever concept and you didn't understand it in the classroom, go to YouTube and look for the tutorials and have it explained to you. I guarantee you there's a video that will explain it to you that you will understand. But that's a part of the independence in online learning, is that you have to do that, okay? So teachers will most times give a brief tutorial if they're introducing a new app, but if you didn't understand it or you need more, you must independently go out and look for that information in order to learn it, in order to be successful in using that app. You also have to know how to upload your work and your pictures and other things as needed for your assignments. You have to know how to use Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Teams, and email. You also have to be able to work with others in small groups on an assignment, okay? So we didn't do that last semester, but we will in the upcoming school year. You will be working with others in a small group. Well, Ms. Anderson, how is that going to look? I don't know. You and your group members figure that out. And if there's a problem, you need to speak up. If there's a problem that you cannot solve, because we're going to talk about problem solving. If you cannot solve that problem after attempts to, then you need to speak up. So speaking of problem solving, let's go ahead and get into it, okay? So there's a word that I love to use in the classroom, and that word is called troubleshooting, okay? A lot of our questions that we have that pop up into our head, if we run them around our head for just one moment, we can pretty much find the answer on our own. 50% of the problems that you ask, you can actually answer yourself if you let that problem go around your head for one or two times, okay? Now, when that problem, you can't answer that problem, then you have to do something called troubleshooting. And this is 5 steps to troubleshoot any problem. I don't care if it's a tech problem, a person problem, a conflict, anything, an app problem, any problem there is, these 5 steps can help you solve it. The first step is to identify the problem. What is the problem? You need to know what the problem is in order to fix it. Second step is, what is the most obvious reason or the most obvious source of the problem? So what could be the reason for this problem? The third is, what is the solution? So what is the easiest and most obvious solution that will solve this problem? The fourth step is apply that solution and then ask yourself in step 5, did that solution work? If it did not work, then you need to repeat the first 4 steps and apply a different solution. So let's look at an example. Let's say my iPad. I am getting ready for class and I turn on my iPad and whoop, my iPad does not turn on. Okay, so now I have a problem. So what's the most obvious reason for that problem? Okay, maybe I forgot to charge it last night. I used my one charger that I have for my phone. And here's a hint, ladies and gentlemen, if you have an iPhone and an iPad, you need 2 chargers, okay? So what's the solution? Well, I need to charge my iPad. So I put my iPad on this charger, leave it there for an hour, come back, touch the home screen or turn it on, and now it works. I applied the solution. Did the solution work? Yes, it did. Okay, if the solution did not work, then I need to go back and figure out, okay, what else could be the problem? All right. Now, if there's a problem that you cannot solve, then you must ask for help, okay? And that is totally okay. And my rule is for asking for help is that you must ask 3 peers before you ask me. Because a lot of time your peers can answer your problems a whole lot quicker, faster, and better than I can. All right, so be a problem solver. Let's move on. So to be a successful online student, you also have to be able to think and make decisions. Wow, thinking? Really, Ms. Anderson? Yes. In the classroom, the teacher is most often doing much of the thinking, okay? Teachers do the planning, they do the teaching, they do activities, examples, and other stuff. And the students are just sitting there happily, and they're just taking in all of this stuff, and then they have to spit it out with a test or a project or something like that. Well, that kind of changes when you are doing online learning, okay? So teachers, yes, we still do the planning, we're still teaching and doing activities, but you are doing a lot of the thinking for yourself, okay? So the first step in critical thinking is understanding what you are learning and why, okay? So when you go into each class, I beg you to try to think and understand what you're learning and why. That will help you to know if you have learned it successfully. For example, if we are learning about theme, which we did last year, okay, and we'll do some more again this year. All right, can you tell me what we learned about theme? So I'm asking you a question right now. What did we learn about theme last year in school? And why did we learn it? So if you can't answer that question, then you don't really know what theme is, okay? Tell me why we learned theme and what is theme, okay? So critical thinking requires you to think through ideas and come to a conclusion. And not only that, but to remember what those things are, okay? And then in order to demonstrate that you understand, you have to share that conclusion online in your virtual classroom with your peers and with your teachers. So being able to think through ideas and then make decisions and come to conclusions is extremely, extremely important to you being a successful online student. You also need to be organized and have great time management skills. So a normal schedule is 7 hours in school. So if we were doing face-to-face instruction, it'd be about 7-8 hours. So too should your online schedule. So you should have the same schedule for in school that you have online. So I need for you to be prepared to spend just as much, if not more, on your online studies. You need to keep an agenda for your daily and your weekly work. You need to keep a binder for each class. You need to create a study schedule for the day that includes each class. You need to have a daily routine. Very, very important to have a daily routine. You need to get up at the same time, set your alarm, get up, take your shower, brush your teeth, eat your breakfast, start your morning routine. What time are you going to have lunch? When are you going to go, when lunch is finished, when you go back to class? And then the rest of your afternoon. Every day, Monday through Friday, should be treated just like you were getting up and going outside to school, okay? The more of a daily routine that you have, the better and more successful you will be, I promise you. And then you also need to, being organized means that you are going to review the agenda the day before, preview and pre-read in order to prepare. I cannot tell you how frustrating it is to have students come into the classroom with a blank slate, okay? Your teachers know. They know automatically when you come into the classroom if you have previewed, if you have some kind of idea what is about to be taught. Why? Because first, it will be easier to teach you, and then second, you will get the concepts quicker, you'll be more able to communicate freely, and you'll be able to do whatever assignment is attached to that for practice. If you don't preview and pre-read the day before, then you just come in and it's like working with a cold stove, okay? Your mind is cold and it takes a long time for it to warm up. Well, when you're working online, you don't have all day in those virtual classes. Sometimes you have an hour, okay? So the thinking that needs to be done has to be done already, okay? So please, please, please preview the agenda the day before. Pre-read if there's reading attached to it, and if your teacher's not giving you an agenda, ask for one, okay? Preview the reading that needs to be done for that lesson, okay? I promise you, you will see the difference, okay? Make a to-do list, okay? Don't try to keep all of that stuff in your head, okay? I have this assignment, that assignment, this assignment. No, write it down in your agenda. Put your to-do list on paper and then forget about it, okay? Because you want to save your brain power for learning. You don't want all of your brain power to be remembering when assignments are due. No, okay? All of these things and a commitment to do what it takes to be successful will, I guarantee you, make you successful. All right, so this is the last slide. We are almost home free, okay? So in order to be a successful online student, you definitely need a good study environment. So you need a quiet place to study that has no distractions with things like the television or your family. I'm even going to say your pets and definitely your phone, okay? You need a desk and a comfortable chair. You need good lighting. You cannot study or read in the dark, okay? You can for pleasure, but not for learning. And you need materials. The same materials that you need in school, like the little personal pencil sharpener, eraser, scissors, glue, binders, paper, all of those materials you still need at home, okay? So don't go back to school shopping, okay? Because I'm going to send you guys a list of the things that you're going to need. So go shopping. I love back to school shopping. Avoid playing video games during scheduled learning times. Your video game should be your reward, okay? It should not be done during your school hours, okay? Turn off your cell phone during the school day, okay? Turn it off. If you don't want to turn it off, put it in another room, okay? Because it's only going to be a distraction for you if you don't know how to manage it and not look at it every 5 seconds, okay? And because we are online learning, be aware of when you start surfing and when you're off track, okay? It's very easy to do, and we all do it, myself included, but be aware of that so you can get back on track. And basically limit anything that can be a distraction, whether that's a person or phones or, anything that can be a distraction. Okay, guys, so we have talked a lot about the strategies needed to be a successful online student, and I still think that you can do this very, very well. So I did tell you at the beginning I was going to share with you my home virtual study environment, so that's what the last few slides are going to be. So thank you very, very much, guys. And let's go ahead and go through my home study virtual environment. So this is my living room, okay? And in my living room, I have my nice comfy couch where I put my feet up, okay? I have my device with me. And so most times my television is on, but the volume is off, okay? So I'm able to not look at my television, or even if I do look at it, it's not a distraction for me. So you have to know you. I do know that you can't have the volume on and it not be a distraction, okay? So if you can have your television on and the sound off, that's okay if it's not a distraction. If you can't help but look at it and it's distracting you, then go ahead and turn it off, okay? So I love to sit back on my couch and do my studying in my living room. So here's my virtual bedroom, okay? So I have my desk and my chair. And remember, I talked about you need a desk and a chair. Why? Because your body posture, your body sends signals to your brain. And when you are laying down on your bed, guess what? Your body is sending in signals to your brain that you are in relax mode. So you are not going to be able to take in as much learning as you can if you were sitting upright. So if you do not have a desk in your chair and a chair in your bedroom, then I suggest that you earn the money to go out and buy one. And in my neighborhood, we have a Goodwill and we have what is called a Value Village, okay? And it is a low-cost store that sells clothes and furniture. And I can go in there and find a desk for about $25, a good one, and a chair for about $15. So if you are not earning money, you should be babysitting, cleaning the house, washing the car. Me and my brother used to rake leaves. We used to mow lawns, take out trash. Whatever it is that you need to do to earn money, if you need to do that to put a desk and a chair in your room for your home study environment, then baby, that's what you need to do, okay? And that video game, you see I have a video game in my virtual room, but it is not on. I do not touch it Monday through Friday. It is my reward for the week, actually. Okay, so only on Saturday and Sundays am I allowed to play the video game. And as you can see, my phone is not on my desk. It is on my bed away from me, so I can't, and turned off, so I can't hear it making noises, and I definitely can't see when alerts come up. So this is my virtual bedroom. Your dining room is a great place to learn, okay? Especially if the house is empty and it's nice and quiet, okay? You have a big space if you need to spread out, if you need to work on projects, if you just need to do anything. It's a great place. I love the dining room because it's nice and light, okay? And there's lots of space. So it's a change of scenery and an excellent place for you to do your studying, as long as you have no distractions. Oh, outside. I can't speak enough about outside, okay? Being in nature, outside on your patio, if you have one, it is wonderful. Now, that patio has to be distraction free, so it can't have other kids on it unless you guys are studying. Excuse me. It can't have your family on it. It only has to have you, okay, in order for it to be effective. But early in the morning or even in the afternoons is a wonderful time to be on your patio and enjoy nature. Okay, so here's my last slide. And this one I love, 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 love going to the park to study. Okay, sometimes I will take my quilt that I made and I will lay in the grass. Sometimes I will sit on the bench. Sometimes I will take lunch with me and my laptop or my device, and I will sit and I will watch webinars or even make videos, things like that. I love being in the park. The noises are kind of like background noises. I hear them, but I'm still able to focus as well, so it's not a problem. And I love looking up every once in a while and seeing other people, seeing people with their dogs and seeing couples and even older couples. I love to see old people, you know. And then kids playing. The park is just I love the park. It's just really, I love nature, so it's a great place for me to study. Okay, guys, so that is all of the virtual environments that I have. Okay, so basically, your virtual experience is what you make it. Okay, so online learning can be just as effective as classroom learning as long as you understand that you are your teacher as well. Okay, so you are teaching and learning at the same time. And if you understand that and you can follow the tips that I previously laid out, then you will be excellent, okay? And that's all that anyone can ask. All right, guys, so I kept this video at 30 minutes. So thank you guys for hanging around, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.